Hello, everyone. Very excited for today's show. Shane Kirskey. This is a name that I'm sure we're going to hear multiple times. He is an aggressive, kind-hearted, very successful wholesaler in the first few months. And I actually invited Shane to be a part of my team and work for me. He was so great. But he knows exactly what he wants, which is to build his own business. And so super happy to be a small part of his journey and help him through the process. So I'm excited to share Shane's story with you guys and dive into this. Shane, welcome here to the show.
Thanks for having me, Zach.
Hi, my name is Zack Boothe, and I help people just like you consistently find massively discounted properties all across the country so you can fix and flip, buy and hold, or wholesale real estate. If you need help, I have a ton of free resources, including an absolutely free wholesaling course. Click on the link in the show notes to get access to those free resources, or you can go to dfdmastery.com, click on free resources, and get access to all the free content. You have the most popular TikTok video that I have sharing your first 3 months of being a student. You've got like 90,000 views or something at this point, and it's only been up for like 2 weeks.
Dude, so awesome, man. That's awesome. Congrats on the success, man. Good.
Well, no, the success is your success, right? Is people watch and we're inspired by what you've been able to accomplish. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to share this. So before we talk about that explosive success you've had, I want to talk about Shane as a person and what we were doing before real estate.
Sure. Man, I could take it back many years. So how far back you want to go, really?
Well, what led you to tell me a little bit personally about you?
So man, gosh, I'm 41, man. So I've been around the game for a while.
The game of real estate, or?
No. Well, no, I'm new to real estate, but I'm just saying in sales in general, entrepreneurship, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just turned 41 this month, so I'm still 40 at heart, I think. Actually, But no, actually, man, I started my first sales job when I was 20, and I started, believe it or not, with Kirby vacuum cleaners.
Love it.
Man, you know what? There was no opportunity in the city I lived in, and I answered this ad, and I go to a hotel room. There's a guy there. And,
you're like, am I going to be doing drugs or vacuums?
Yeah. So it was one of those things. But I found out what it was. They don't tell you really what it is for a while. I think it took like, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't even find out what I was actually going to be doing until like after the interview or something,
What?
But it was an opportunity, and it was, I was working the 9 to 5s, and I've never been. It's just very hard for me to kind of conform to a 9 to 5 job. It always has been. And so once I found out that I had an opportunity to go earn for myself and to make it happen, I jumped on it, and I had many years at Kirby. Usually, man, it's kind of like a bottom, and I love Kirby. I've got one, actually, I've got 2 of them. Great machine.
Yeah.
But, and I didn't make a whole lot of money, but I kind of earned, I went up in the ranks. I spent 10 years with the company, and it was all door to door, literally door to door. So the wealth of knowledge that I got from them 10 years, they call it Kirby University. I just look back on it. I'm just like so grateful and so thankful for them 10 years. I just am. Again, I didn't make a lot of money. We had a lot of fun. But the what I took away from that company was amazing. And it was actually my mentor. I learned so much from my mentor. He was in Kirby his whole life. His dad was a Kirby guy. And I couldn't have actually picked a better mentor. The way things worked. Everything, the way it ended up, I'm like so thankful for them 10 years that I put in with that company, with that mentor. Learned a ton.
That's awesome. So you learned a lot, I'm sure, about leadership. You learned about sales mainly, I assume.
Sure.
But also got some confidence, right? It sounds like.
Yeah, it was confidence. Absolutely. And I think a lot of it too is just being in home and being comfortable around customers.
Yeah,
and that was the thing, sometimes you'd go into a home and you'd have like 10 family members there, or it'd be like Thanksgiving, like 2 days after Thanksgiving, they got the whole family there, and they're letting you come in, plug in your Kirby and do a demonstration in front of like 10 people. it's not the easiest thing to do, man. And so I got really kind of comfortable with that and just kind of getting in front of people. But I think what kind of carried me through everything else was just kind of the work ethic and what it took, the grind that it actually took to do well in life. Just the grind of going out there and hustling and knocking doors. I would make like on an average of like $200 a sale, $300 a sale or something like that. And I would spend sometimes 2-3 hours in there with people, so it wasn't a whole lot of money there, but again, I just learned a ton. 2012, I transitioned. I had a buddy that left Kirby that was with me from day one. He went to Vivint, which is out there with you guys, Zack, Utah. I think they have the arena there, right? Vivint.
The Vivint Center. Yeah, yep.
So
I think a Jazz plays there now.
Yeah,
I think the Jazz. Yeah.
So in Vivint, man, was APX Alarm. It's an alarm company for anybody that doesn't know, and it's based on summer sales, direct sales, door to door. So
we have a lot of returned LDS missionaries here. And so they got really good at getting rejected, right? Trying to sell religion in different languages all across the world. And so it's like the mecca of door-to-door salesmen, right? Of Vivint recruiting. That's why we're centered here. That's funny.
Absolutely, man. And you guys got an early age, or you guys out in Utah, or I don't know, whatever. But a lot of guys that are at Vivint, I mean, they started knocking doors at an early age. Early, not even 18. I think some of them, they go out as young kids and like they go out to a strange area that they don't know and like get uncomfortable and go out and knock doors. And so
I was knocking doors to sell aeration at 11 years old for my family's business.
Wow. That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's incredible. So you kind of understand the work ethic and everything like that. That's
exactly
kind of like the fundamentals of, the fundamental, thing of it, just going out there and making things happen for yourself. So I did Vivint. I actually did really well, man, because I had 10 years of vacuum experience, So I ended up, I think that the rookie of the year, I think I was number 2 for the year for the whole country, so I got awards. They had to change the competition rules with me for the rookie class for the country because I won every one of them. So like you take a vacuum guy that's used to lugging in a vacuum into a house for, you know what I'm saying? And you get out there and literally they would drop us off an area. And again, super grateful for my team, the leadership that was in place there. We ended up being like the number 2 team in the country. But we worked extremely hard. They would drop us off. My first summer was in New Mexico, 113-degree weather, and they would drop us off in the court and literally at 2:00, and they wouldn't pick you up from area until 9. So you're out there in 113-degree weather, 7 hours a day, just on the total grind, 6 days a week.
Wow.
So it was it was the work ethic and everything, but it was a lot of fun. Try to speed it up for you, man. And then I transitioned into solar in 2015, and I got into the solar game. I went up to Maryland and learned solar, and then I moved back down to Florida. And I've been in solar for the last. I just once COVID hit, trying to knock doors in a pandemic, and people don't want to stand next to you 6 feet in a store, let alone let a stranger into their home. A lot of people still did really well. I know a lot of people are still knocking doors. They do very well at it, and right through the whole, lockdowns and everything, they worked right through it. It was about my mindset, and I had a lot of self-doubt, and that kind of set in, and I had a hard time overcoming that doubt to go out there and knock doors in a pandemic. So, and I was, I've been knocking doors for so many years, I kind of needed to change from that. So I started kind of venturing out and seeing what other avenues I could do besides what I know is knocking doors. So yeah, and now this last 3 months, that's what got me into real estate, man. So I'm here.
Well, what's so cool is you have all this experience of sales, and I don't coach people unless they're 18 or older. And with having a TikTok presence now, I have a lot of younger people interested, which I love, awesome. Right? Because I want to inspire young generations. And my big thing is teaching them how to get started, right? Before they can get it, because they can't sign a purchase contract till they're 18. They're like, well, I can have my parents do it. And it's like, no, dude, I want you to do it. I don't want your parents to do it. And so I tell them, if you really are that interested, go get a sales job, because that skill set of talking to people and being comfortable in your own skin, regardless if there's money on the line or not, because how intimidating is it to go into an appointment? There's a $50,000 deal or even $100,000 deal on the line with, if you can walk into that appointment without having butterflies, you're going to be a lot
still
better
get them
off.
though, man. Even with 20 years, brother. You know what the worst fear I have, Zach, is public speaking and being recorded. And this is like two of my worst fears right now, is like getting in front of being recorded. And I imagine people are going to watch this. So it's like, I have, I get extremely nervous when it comes to something like that, man.
Well, the goal is to have hundreds of thousands of viewers, so don't get nervous.
Yeah, right? Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, Shane, you're great. I just want you to be authentic and just share who you are and your story. I care about you a lot. I love that. Like, we've talked a lot on the phone, and it's been really fun to see you just hit the ground running and give it 100%. And believe in the process, and best yet, the results you've gotten. It fulfills me. It makes me so happy. So just be proud of yourself and don't worry about what people think, right? This is about you just sharing, and hopefully, and if you just inspire one person, if you help just one person, it's all worth it, right?
Yeah,
there's always haters in life, everybody. There's always going to be people that are looking for people that they can put down so they feel better about themselves, and but there's always someone that you might bless by having a voice and sharing it. And so don't worry about that. Love it. So man, let's talk about it. So how long ago did you join my program?
So August 4th is when I signed on with Deal Machine. And that's how I found, so I didn't know how I wanted to get into real estate. I knew nothing about wholesaling.
Okay.
So, and I have a buddy up in Michigan. He is he's an investor. And I was like, hey man, I had some extra funds. I'm like, hey, can I get in the game with like, whatever the sum was, I want to start buying and flipping houses. And he's like, well, that's only like a fraction of my business. And he mentioned something about wholesaling. And I'm like, what's wholesaling? I never even heard about it. I just knew I wanted to get into real estate. It's looking back on my sales career and whatever, like how much is my contract worth? It seems to match up. Like, how much money am I going to make? Like, what am I selling, and how much is it worth? So you start out with a $1,500 vacuum sweeper. You're not going to make a whole lot of commission. Then you move up to a $5,000 alarm contract. You're going to make some more commission. You go to a $50,000 solar sale. you're going to. So I was just kind of looking for something that had a little bit more, a lot of money towards it. Homes are worth a lot of money, and that's kind of. I knew that there's a lot of people are very successful with real estate. I wanted to get into the game. I just didn't know how. And I started, what I did is I took a course on real estate, like to get my real estate license. It was an online course. So I kind of dove headfirst into it, and I did my 63 hours for the state of Florida. I didn't go take my test or anything, because at that point I found Deal Machine, found you. And I was like, well, what the heck do I even want to do that? Sit at the desk, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So but I learned to kind of, I forgot a lot of it already, but, I was just kind of like absorbing everything I possibly could. But I started I didn't know how to get leads, or anything like that. And I heard.
So let's slow down, because you're sharing a lot of lingo, and a lot of people have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because they were like where you were, right? When you were like, I want to get into real estate. So you found something called, so you learned about something called Deal Machine. So Deal Machine is an app.
I heard go ahead. D for D. That's what I heard. Drive for dollars. And then I found Deal Machine. So I was like, wait a second, I can go out and get in the field like I've done for 20 years and go out there and put in the grind and put in the hustle and go sacrifice and go out there into the field and go make it happen. And so I heard about Drive for Dollars. I was like, well, that's a perfect transition for me. I love being out there. And like I said, I was knocking doors. So just go out there in my vehicle like I've done and just go out there and make it happen. And then I found what Deal Machine was, because I heard people would write it down on paper. And I'm like, what's this Deal Machine? So I was like, oh, this is freaking amazing. So, and right at that time, Zach, when you did a podcast for Deal Machine, and this was right in my beginning stages of everything. So I'm like, well, this is great. And then so And then I watched your podcast, and I'm like, well, gosh. And for some reason, I'm a pretty good judge of character, et cetera, man. And I had a great feeling about you. I'm like, I want to do what this guy's doing. I trust this guy. For whatever reason, but and that's how I took your course. I took that leap of faith and joined your course right when you did that podcast for Deal Machine. So that's how that's how I found you, was through Deal Machine.
I love it. So let's create some clarity for those that may be a little lost. So driving for dollars is we drive around, find ugly rundown houses, reach out, see if they want to sell. The goal is to get properties under contracts for massive discounts and sell that contract before we ever own it, right? And make lump sums as high as the biggest deal any of my students have ever done is $114,500, and usually as low as a couple $1,000s. Right, which is incredible, and we'll share how much Shane has made and how, per deal and so forth. But so what Deal Machine is basically an app technology that allows you to add properties at a very fast rate and uploads all the information of the owner. So basically, you hold your finger on the phone, and it drops a pin on the house, and it pulls all the data and puts it in an Excel spreadsheet. It speeds it up, and you can get a good discount if you use my discount code PIN PIN when you get the Deal Machine app. Yeah, it was a complete game changer for us as well. Love that service. I know the owner and founder, David Lecco, and John and all of them there. I've done a lot of work with them because I was one of the first ones to use it, and I add more properties with that system than anyone in the country now. We're adding almost 4,000 a week at this point. And so, it's been a game changer. And so you found out about this, you found out about me and my program, and I teach marketing and I teach you how to wholesale and give you all those tools. So you jumped in and you made it happen for yourself. And I want you to understand that not everyone is successful, right? Because not everyone is willing to do what you did, which is work. I can't you can see my students behind me and all these little holes in the wall. It's because I've pulled people off and put them on the success wall. Right. And, you're not in here anymore. You're out of my success wall.
Did I finally make it off the student wall, or I went to the success wall, you're saying?
You're on the success wall now.
Yes.
So,
and it was one of my goals, by the way. I'm getting off of that wall. I'm going to the success wall.
So it was just, the success wall is it's behind this window here. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, I've got cords connected everywhere. Do I still have you, Shane?
I'm here, man.
Sorry, a little shaky, but I'm going to show you guys my success wall if you haven't seen it. Here you go. Here's our success wall. I got Shane right here, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Cool. That was a milestone that I wanted to hit, man. I'm like, it was a target for me. So it was a goal. We got to have them goals. So
I love it, man. Well, I was grateful to get you there. So let's talk about, let me get everything plugged in. Jumped into the program. You got Deal Machine in August. You learned about me. It is now 1st of December. So only a few months ago. So how long ago did you join the program? Did you join it in September? When did you join?
Yeah, it was like September. It was somewhere in there, man. So I think it was maybe late August, September, something like that, right in that area. I'd have to go back and look.
September. Yeah. Okay. And then I remember on the TikTok, we shared that you had 5 contracts in the first couple months of joining the program.
Sure.
Which is incredible, which is fantastic. Right.
Yeah.
Usually students are doing their first deal within about 3 months if they hit the ground running hard. But you did multiple deals, right?
Sure.
So how many have you closed at this point, Shane?
So today, it's funny you set up this call today. I just got back from the title company and picked up a check for $10,995, which is great. I'm like, So I'm glad I'm a little bit older in life. Put it that way. Been there, done that sort of thing. So
right.
But yeah, so picked that check up today. So I paid the date $30K, something like that. I put a couple more under contract since the last time we talked. I've got 5 in the workings. Well, I got, 3 in the workings right now.
Let's do it this way. How many have you closed? How many deals?
3 with 2 of them that I'm waiting on that I had to do addendums on, which is, it's amendment on an agreement. The title company came back with some liens that are getting cleared up.
Okay.
So the seller is actually two of the properties. They have to go to mitigation, which if you run into any liens out there, they'll give you a sum from the county, the city, or wherever the liens are attached from. They can actually go in front of them and get that reduced.
Yep.
So, and that's the process I'm waiting on now. So two of the properties, I'm waiting to get that cleared up. As soon as that clears up, we're ready to close. I got my back end buyers. Everybody's just waiting at this point.
Gotcha.
Um,
So you've got one. So one officially has cashed out 10,900.
Yeah, I got three of them that's cashed out. Yeah.
Okay. So the one was 10,900. What were the other two?
11,000. And then a triplex, which was 5,000. So it was 11,000, 10,000, and 5,000. So whatever that
Perfect
sum is.
And then you've got two. You're just dealing with title stuff, which is
39. Wait, 15,000. And 19,000. So
wow,
34,
so you've got
34K, 34K there.
Wow. So 34. And then you said you've got others that you're working as well.
So yeah. So, and I hate to talk about them until I'm said and done and locked in. I'm always that guy. Seriously, I wouldn't change. Like when I had to wear
because you're a salesman, dude.
I wouldn't change my tie for like a month. But just to tell you,
do you sound like a straight door-to-door salesman, terrified, like don't count your chickens till they hatch?
You know that, and I still learned the hard way too about counting chickens before they hatch, and I can get into that a little bit because that's super important because deals can fall off, deals can happen. Yeah. And so 100%. You never want to count anything until you have it. And so, yeah. Because what happens is if we do, we take our foot off the gas pedal. We get back on easy street, and that's a super bad place to be in. So complacency sets in. Oh, I'm good. I've got my bills covered. You really don't. And I learned that through solar. Because vacuum sales, alarm sales, it's immediate. You close it that day, you're getting funded Friday. Well, solar, you're not getting funded on them deals until a couple months because you got permitting, you've got inspections, you've got the install, you got the financing, you got all these different moving parts. One of them falls off, no deal. You're thinking, dang, I just made like $8,000. I signed an agreement, $8,000, woo! And then all of a sudden you find out the roof needs to be replaced because it didn't pass a roof inspection. Or, the C word, the cancellation word or something, so you just got to really kind of not look at that until you actually are funded. And I learned that through real estate as well now, because guess what? There's liens out there that you don't know about. There's different things that you got different hurdles that we learned that we got to kind of jump over that I'm learning. It's the same thing that I dealt with in solar. So, you look at it, you're like, gosh, man, I'm thinking I'm getting close to like $100,000. And then all of a sudden things can happen. So it's just kind of just not getting complacent, not getting on easy street and keeping that momentum going.
I love it. So in this industry, actually, you're about 3 months out. So your hustle from 3 months ago is really starting to pay off 3 months in. Obviously, you have some laydowns. People are like, yes, buy the house today. It's ready to go. There's no lien issues. That happens. But the majority of our leads are going to come in 3 months from the day we drive. And so it's so important to keep that gas, because the worst thing that can happen in your business is you got a ton of opportunity and work to do, and you get working on it and you let off the gas on your marketing and the more important things, the things that are going to lead to future success, and it's going to fall off and you're gonna be like, what happened? Like, why am I not doing deals? And then you get hungry again, and then you start to work and you're like, oh, wow, I got leads again. Whew. I thought something was going on. It's because you let off the gas 3 months ago and you forgot. Like it's a weird cycle to get in. So it's good that you understand that.
It is. And that's kind of huge to know, especially anybody that's coming into this like me. It's like, you kind of got to plan for that. And especially if you've got a family and everything else. But you mentioned that you got your course coming up tonight, right? You got a course coming up tonight. You're talking about mindset. It's that mindset that we can kind of, if we get on an easy street and we get complacent, that's a bad place to be in. And I did that actually, and I learned it because I was good to go. I kind of relaxed a little bit during November, had a bunch of deals in the hopper, and then I got the liens that came up and everything after title searches. I'm like, whoops, so I'm still learning every day at this thing, and But momentum, and I asked you last night, I was like, well, is there any key points that you want to go over? I was hoping you were going to give me some things to talk about.
And I was nothing, right?
Nothing, just no response from Zack whatsoever, just blinded. So I'm like, he might ask me a couple things and a couple key, fundamentals or principles. And one of them was going to be momentum, because I let off the gas with that. And so trying to get that momentum going again is where I'm currently at right now, is trying to rebuild my momentum. So that's where I'm at now.
Yes. I forgot I didn't text you back. I was actually writing the financial education stuff for you guys. So I'm doing that just for my students. I don't think it'll be available for a while for everyone else, but anyways, man, I love your story. I love your energy. And I think this is very inspirational, right? I want people to understand that it is possible to make a lot of money in this industry. There's a ton of opportunity, beyond being able to wholesale for large sums of money. You have lead flows, so you can pick up rentals, you can pick up flips. The sky is the limits on this. You can do it anywhere. You can live anywhere and do it in a different market. You don't have to, live necessarily where you want to do this kind of business. It's an awesome opportunity, and Shane's a great example of what hard work can do for you.
That's what I wanted to say. I don't want to, if you got a lot of new people watching this, or newbies that's never had a sales gig or anything like that, I want to say it's extremely possible. And I don't want you to say, oh, he's been in sales for 20 years. That's why that he's had some success with it, because anybody really can do this. You said the word is the work ethic, the hard work, because one of my deals, there was no salesmanship to it whatsoever. There was none of the fun. It was the hard work that I put in. It was the result of my hard work that I put in is how I was rewarded with that, because it was just through text messaging. Never even got on the phone with the seller.
Wow.
But I would have never got that, like you call them, a lay down, had I not put in all the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears to get that result.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So take away any of the sales stuff. Like, there's deals out there. As long as you're willing to put in the work and effort to get them, you're going to come across deals. As long as your mindset's right and you're going in full bore and making it happen, man.
Love it. So now that you're this wise and seasoned wholesaler, what would you tell Shane Kirskey about 6 months ago about real estate investing?
Oh man, I wish I would have did it before. I really do. I wish I would have gotten the game before. I don't like to change my past, because I'm where I'm at today because of my past. You know what I'm saying? With all
you would at least say, hey, get started now. Don't wait.
Don't wait. Or I would have absolutely said that. It's like, hey, this is a great opportunity. I knew solar. Anytime I transitioned, it was uncomfortable, because I'm learning something new. You know what I'm saying? So, taking that leap and going. Because whenever I took the leap, man, I absorbed as much as I could, as quickly as I possibly could. And that's kind of why you see me kind of shoot out the gate, because it was all the mindset that I was in. Like, I was learning probably 10, 15, 12 hours a day. I mean, I was putting in a lot of time and energy and a lot of focus to it.
Yes. To
try to absorb every, I did the 63 hours to learn my license. I found your course. I dove into that. And then I was just out in the field, just nonstop, just getting leads as much as I possibly could, putting the work in.
Both feet in. There was no question that this is what you were going to do and you were going to be successful. I love it. I want people to understand that. Like, the people that jump into this and have explosive success from the get-go, they go in 100% all in. They give it everything they've got, right? And so if you really want this, you'll make it work. It's really interesting when like, I see that in certain students. I see that they want to be successful, and yet they don't do any of the work. They just think it would be nice. So my mentor taught me this. His name's Tom Kroll. Love Tom. He's actually there in Florida with you. And he said that, the shiny object syndrome, or ideas, or business ideas, right? They're really fun. They're really exciting. It's really exciting to imagine what life would be like once we have the business going. We got a team, we're making all this money, and like, this idea is so great, and we'd be able to help all these people with this, and like, the idea is exciting. But that's a selfish and shallow perspective, because all we're thinking about is ourselves. But if we truly want to be successful, we have to serve and give of ourselves, right? If we want to have greatness, we have to give greatness. We have to sacrifice, and sacrificing and getting uncomfortable is not fun. It doesn't feel good. right? And so
Right.
the actual implementation of a new business idea or getting into wholesaling is uncomfortable, and it is not easy. There's blood, sweat, and tears, like you said. And so I want everyone to be careful of that, to not just dream. Yes, dream first, but choose exactly what you want and make it a reality like Shane did. I think that you're an example to a lot of us, including myself, and to remind us of what's so important. Which is not just the dreaming, but pulling the trigger and actually getting uncomfortable. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I really appreciate that. And if anyone has questions or would like to reach out to you, or I know sometimes people want to know about my program or have questions, for my students. Is it okay if people reach out to you?
No, absolutely, man. Yeah, of course. This will probably be on YouTube, I imagine.
Yeah, I'll put YouTube. I'm starting a
Or just
podcast that might end up there. A few other
whatever,
places.
man. If you want to text, if somebody's got questions, you can always, forward my contact information. Super easy to get a hold of, man. I've got my phone on me all the time. So
Well,
for sure.
are you okay giving like a social media link or an email or something they could reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got my email. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Can you share your email here so we have
Yeah,
it?
Shane, Shane, and it's at easyhomesales.com. And Easy Home
Awesome.
Sales is easy with a Z. So easyhomesales.com.
Perfect.
EAZYHOMESALE. I'm not a speller, I'm a seller. So that was hard for me right there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Shane. And we'll talk to you soon.
I was just going to say
Uh,
thank you, brother, for everything, man. Like I said, you're a mentor of mine, and I appreciate it. And thanks for being a leader and leading by example and all that good stuff, man. I appreciate everything. I wouldn't be here without you, brother. Appreciate you,
well,
man.
I appreciate that. And you did the hard work. I just gave you the steps. I'm grateful to be a part of your journey, brother.
Thank you, brother.